Hello, everybody. My name is Mike. I'm one of your. Oh, wow. I almost opened like a YouTube video. I've been recording YouTube lately, and I haven't done that in so long.
Hey
and now
there,
it's like,
gamer guys and gals.
hey,
it's
how's
me,
it going?
Raptor.
Sorry, it has been so long since my last upload. My mom is in the other room, and I have to be very quiet.
Welcome back to the Chilluminati podcast, episode 185. As always, I am one of your hosts. Today I'm just going to be Michael Martin, as always. But today I am joined by none other than the Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith of LA.
Whoa.
You know, we did a couple weird ones before. So let's get back into something.
Do you want to do a nice chill one like Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum?
You know, we're in that weird spot between Christmas and New Year's.
Mathis, have you seen Independence Day?
Yes.
Okay, then it's, you know what? I'll allow it.
I saw it in theaters, and then we had it on VHS.
All right, my question for you, Mr. Fossiani.
Yeah.
Have you seen Independence Day?
Yeah,
Are you? Everyone's seen it. That movie is it's certainly a classic something. Are you Will or are you Jeff?
Man, see, in a long time ago, back in 2020, before the slap, I would have said that you were without a doubt the Will Smith and I was the Jeff Goldblum. Now, I would say we're both Jeff Goldblum.
Good
Will
answer.
Smith's dead to us.
Answer. Good answer.
Science over war, world peace forever.
Yeah. Good answer. I like it.
All right, we're stuck with two Jeff Goldblums.
You know what? You're not stuck with two Jeff Goldblums.
We're blessed with two Jeff Goldblums.
With two Jeff Goldblums.
I mean, only one of us here has gotten to hang out with him and maybe arguably pretend that you're his friend. So,
dude, loved it. Big fan.
I'm jealous.
Have you introduced him as your friend Jeff Goldblum yet?
You text him all the time, like, "Hey, what up, Jeffy? How you hope you doing?"
Yeah.
He probably doesn't remember. What did he call you? What did he call you? I can't remember.
Jess.
He gave you like a nickname, didn't he?
It's just my name. He just called me Jess.
Oh, okay.
He didn't like say anything
Jess,
weird. Yeah.
All right.
He called him J-Sex. He called him J-Sex.
You got to hang out with Jeff Goldblum while he wore leather pants.
That was a wild trip. I feel like no one told him he was going to do that. I felt for that man. He was like,
it was like thrust upon him.
I'm going to sit here for how long and play Jurassic Park, the computer game?
Yeah.
That I don't care about at all.
I also want to shout out Michael Martin.
Hello, it's me.
What?
He's just,
for what?
He's dropping the SN. He's just trying it on. You know what I'm saying?
The SN?
The SN?
The screen name. You said I'm Michael Martin. You said I'm Mathis.
Yeah. Well. You're going to get on me for being called Jess. All right, Michael Martin.
I'm Mike. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Martin. I usually say Mike Martin, not Michael Martin. I don't say Mathis on this podcast.
Why are you informed? Why are you Michael today?
That's always been that, dudes. You guys are just only noticing it now.
No, you introduced yourself.
Said my name is
because
Michael.
I told you, because I don't know why today I went with Michael Martin. I don't know why my brain made that jump.
Michael Martin does sound kind of like a guy presenting a case, like a litigation.
Yeah.
Okay, but what if I told you I'm Michael Martin Jr.? Does that change what I am? Am I
now
still
you're
litigating?
A painter. Now you're like a folk painter.
All right, I'll take it. I am a junior. I'm a junior.
You only paint landscapes, but you always have the same woman in every landscape.
Yeah.
Oh,
like just like
is it like a hidden
figure.
woman, or is she like always like very visible?
Oh no, she's hidden in some. Yeah.
She's when How Hitchcock puts himself in all his movies.
Yep. You're like the M. Night Shyamalan of paintings.
Ooh.
In 1998, in an episode of Antiques Roadshow, one of your paintings was valued at $6,000.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll take it, dude. That's more than I ever expected any of my art to be worth.
In 2022, it's still $6,000.
He died during the Civil War when he accidentally shot himself with the rifle.
Yeah, he accidentally shot himself with a rifle through his balls, and then he got his wife pregnant by hitting her in the belly with his bullet that went.
People
through
said it couldn't happen, but it was the first case that proved it. Yeah. That's why everyone thinks you could get pregnant from a toilet seat. It's true.
Yeah, and speaking of things that people think are made up but maybe aren't, head over to patreon.com/ChilluminatiPod where you can actually sign up. You really can. This is not a joke website. You can go there, you give us money, and you get stuff in return.
That sounds like a joke website. I'm not going to lie.
It is a joke website. That's the new slogan. It's not a joke website. That's how it goes. You can get ad-free episodes. You can get like a 15 to an hour-long mini-sode after every episode.
Really,
the past 4 mini-sodes, the past 4 of them have been over a half hour each. I think 2 of them were over 40 minutes. They were the fucking regular episodes.
When we do finally, when the compilations finally catch up to those, that's going to be a chunker, bros.
They're only going to be able to have like 2. I'm not going to put a 2-hour episode of mini-sodes out there.
It's going to be a chunker.
Although some quality is a little bit better than others, admittedly.
Admittedly,
That's
but,
not true at all. We always bring our S tier game.
Oh, we bring an S tier, and sometimes we go on a 25-minute rant about like ridiculous stuff. You know, whatever.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like the podcast to me, baby.
Yeah.
The podcast. Speaking of which, let's get to casting. Sign up for our Patreon. It's not a joke website.
It's true. It's not. Okay. Today, boys, we're in that weird time period right now of like after Christmas, before New Year's. Everybody's feeling kind of, a little lazy, still a little relaxed. Maybe some people don't even go back to work. And I could have done that. I could have said, you know what? We're not going to do an episode, mini-sode compilation. But I said no.
Wow.
We're going to do an episode. And here we are. But we're going to keep it light. We're going to keep it fun.
Hero.
Today, we're going to take a look at, I have 10. We might do a little more. But 10 of the weirdest Christmas/New Year cryptids that exist.
Specifically New Year cryptids?
Mostly Christmas, to be fair. Mostly Christmas cryptids. But there's a few that like they operate until January 1st and then they leave. So, we've got some weird ones. I think Jesse, I'd be curious how many of these you guys know. Jesse, I know you know at least one of these. I think you did a Cox and Crendor on there.
Is it Santa
Claus?
At
one point.
Is it the Yule
Cat? Rudolph the
I'm gonna blow
red-nosed
some
reindeer?
fucking minds. I'm gonna blow some fucking
Is it the
minds.
Yule Cat?
Santa has origins prior to being called Santa Claus. So
Santa Claus?
No, we're not going to do Santa. You did hit on 1/2 there with the Yule lads, though. We'll talk about the Yule lads.
I know about the Yule lads.
Yeah,
I know
Cranky's going to be on the list?
Crampy? Well, yeah, he's actually the first one on the list.
The
Because we already,
Crankies, the much more famous.
no Crankies. I think it's Crampy,
Christmas
like
cryptids,
Krampus.
the Crankies.
Christmas with the Crankies?
Apparently, like the ones we did last week, I can't even remember the name of the two dudes anymore, are like mega famous. And one of them was in Drop Dead Fred, which I've bizarrely seen.
Wait, what?
Yeah, remember the two English actor duos that we talked about last week, and one of them was dead?
Oh, we got roasted on the forums about, They were like, they don't know them?
Rick Mayall. Yeah. Thank you, Dean. And Aid Edmondson, our thank you, producer. They are apparently very famous. And
I don't know why we're expected to have this like extremely British knowledge. I just don't have it. I wish I did.
You did.
I don't know why
CoxCon.
we were the Crankies. Well, I don't know why anybody expected me to know that. Even Dean didn't know the goddamn Crankies.
Bro, we should have had the Crankies at CoxCon for the last
We should have had a lot of Cox. All I'm going to say is.
We should have had a lot of CoxCon.
We should have had a lot of CoxCon.
Patreon.com/Chilluminati. We should have had a lot of CoxCon. This is
all
not
I'm
a
saying
joke website.
is. We can't be expected to know it, but we have come on here and been like, rough, tweet, and dive. So really, people expect us to know all sorts of stuff.
But I don't even know what that reference is. That's to tell you.
It's just British TV. It's like a British TV show about weird animated animals.
What?
People?
The only British TV show I have seen is Doctor Who and the QI show at Alex's house. That's it. That's all I've seen. You Are the Weakest Link. Goodbye. Does that count? Because it came to America.
You didn't watch British episodes of The Weakest Link,
No,
right?
I did not. No.
You watched like American ones.
But she is British, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Toast of London. Like those kinds of, have you ever seen IT Crowd? None of that?
No.
Basically, it's Matt Berry. Have you ever just,
Wait, I have seen The British Office.
That's not Matt Berry, but okay.
That's actually surprising.
I saw that first before America Office.
That's actually very surprising.
Yeah, I liked it quite a bit. It was quite good. I saw it in high school, weirdly.
Okay,
but today's not about that. And today isn't about that the Majestic 12 documents might be real, and we'll talk about that in the actual minisode, because that's insane. We got a list to go through. The first one's going to be one that we've already talked about, so we'll do it very, very quickly. And that's obviously none other than Krampus. We did an episode 19, I think, is our Krampus episode, if you want to feel like how long this podcast has been going. 4 years ago, we are 1 month away from our 5-year anniversary in February, which is fucking nuts to me.
You know how we can tell we were bored in February 5 years ago? We're just like, you guys want to do a podcast? Okay.
Yeah, okay. Diamond.
Yeah. There was no okay from you, Alex. It was just diamond.
That's
and
okay.
Jesse's first response was, how often? And I was like, just once every 2 weeks to start, man. Let's see how this goes first. And now you're stuck. Now you're at 185 episodes in with no end in sight. The tunnel just keeps getting deeper and darker.
You know what? I like it down here. It's cozy.
Yeah, I do too, honestly. I love it a lot. So obviously, if you don't know who Krampus is, he's basically a goat-like looking demon from mythology, Germanic mythology specifically, who shows up at Christmas time, not to give kids presents, but to pick them up, put him in his bag, and spank him with a bunch of sticks,
Smack
usually.
the shit out of them. for
Beat
cheating
the
on their
ever-living
taxes.
shit out of them. People still celebrate Krampus all over the world today. People dress up as him and do all these things. And you know
Celebrate?
what?
Is that the right word?
They're not like, we love the Krampus's vibe. We appreciate what he does.
Well, I think a few of them now, other than scaring kids, they do give out like candies and stuff at the end before they go away. You know, they
gentrified Krampus?
yes, they
For
gentrified
the good
Krampus
kids?
a little bit. Yep, and they've
Like
other
he
ones.
comes
That
and
they,
smacks the shit out of one bad kid and throws the other kids a bunch of fucking candies.
But they have to
would
watch
be-
the bad kid get smacked. Yeah.
Dude, out of the three of us, who would have been the one to get beat?
Me. Let's not pretend.
All right, all right.
Let's
I
not
agree with that
pretend.
answer. I agree
I'm a
with
good
that
boy.
answer.
Yeah.
I got my Sega Genesis the year that I asked for it because I was so good the whole year.
That's awesome. My dad gave me a Sega Genesis that he bought out of some guy's car for $100.
My parents
go.
told me I had to wait for a super. They were like, a Super Nintendo was coming. Your uncle read about it. So I had to wait 2 years for a Super Nintendo.
Your uncle that
God.
works at Nintendo?
I did
got
find
the
out later.
inside
My
scoop.
uncle was like I learned about Warcraft from my uncle. I watched him play
Whoa.
Warcraft Orcs versus Humans and was like,
It's his fault.
What's this? He was a big old nerd, except
Little- I was gonna
he's
say,
not at all. He was like
Little
a
did he
closet
know
nerd.
he then dictated the rest of your life from that
One
moment
day,
on.
Orcs versus Humans.
OMFG.
Next day, so hyped about Cataclysm.
Yeah, that was it, really.
We did an episode on Krampus, like I said, a long while ago. In that, we look a little bit deeper into the origins of Krampus, so go listen to that. But we also then put the theory that he might be an alien, also because that's during the times where really I had no rules on the kind of episodes I was gonna do. I was just doing.
Yeah, back then it was a crazy show.
Idea. Yeah, today way more organized. All right, way less crazy. But yeah, that's Krampus. He's a cool dude. I like Krampus quite a bit. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Whoa,
Let's chill.
you can't
He's a
say
cool dude.
Krampus beats children. Pretty cool dude.
Pretty cool dude. Kids
I'd
suck.
have him
Kids
at my
suck,
Christmas.
all right?
I have
Kids
nothing to
suck.
fear. Goodbye.
Exactly. I have nothing to fear. Goodbye. If Satan
The only
wasn't
people
going
who
to
are afraid of Krampus are the people who got problems. You know what I'm saying?
I just watched our producer like lose his soul for a moment on that thing. That was fun. So the next one we're going to talk about is one I had never heard of, and I'll be curious if you boys did. Frau Perchta. Frau Perchta, the Christmas Witch.
Perchta?
Perchta. I'm assuming that's how you say it. Perchta.
Is that the German name for Elsa from Frozen?
Yes. Good joke.
You got him. You got him.
Got
He was
me.
like, I don't know.
Thank you, guys.
I have
Thank
seen
you, guys.
bits of Frozen. I have not
Patreon.com/Chilluminati pod, please. Help
we
us out.
support the show.
It's not a joke website.
Please
I
go.
want you to know this. I didn't know who this was. I went to go Google it, and the very first line on Google is, "Don't F with Frau Perchta." Got it? What are you? I don't know who. What are you about to tell us?
Frau
Well, I'm about
Perchta,
to tell you here.
terrifying Christmas witch. Oh shit!
This comes off of this is actually I think you're looking at the source of this of my like bulk of
Why does
information
she
here.
look like this?
Burrowsofthedead.com. Thank you very much. Frau Perchta isn't as well known as Krampus, obviously, but this Christmas time goddess / witch thing, she's still kind of scary as shit. She's a staple in the Alpine regions of southern Germany and Austria.
Where is Krampus from?
He's Germanic as well.
Germans.
Germany and Iceland,
What's
dude.
going
Those
on?
are going to be the
What's
two
going on,
countries
y'all?
we look at today and go, "What's wrong with you? Is everything
They're in
okay?"
touch with the fucked up shit in their souls in a way that we are not, and
It's true.
I have to look up to them for that. Like Frau Perchta, real talk, she looks like the grandma of one of the blockheads from Gumby, hanging out with
Terrifying.
fucking Rasputin.
It's
It looks fucked
terrifying
up.
looking.
She looks like the vacuum from the Brave Little Toaster. It's fucked up. I don't know what to tell
Oh
you.
my god!
It's
Yes!
fucked up.
I have seen that movie so many times. That movie is horrifying, and
It's actually genuinely scary.
it is. It's a scary fucking movie. That movie is so scary. According to the book Old Magic of Christmas, written by Linda Rydisk, Frau Perchta was also known as Berchta or Bertha, and has also been called Spinstubenfrau.
Spinstubenfrau?
Spinstubenfrau, or spinning room lady,
Yeah.
is what it translates to. Yeah. She's usually depicted with a beaked nose made out of iron, dressed in rags, carrying a cane sometimes, and generally resembles a decrepit old crone. But this crone is a dangerous lady, as she carries a long knife hidden under her skirt at all times.
Shit. She's the fucking
She's
monster
packing.
from Don't Look Now.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Thank you to Butcherbox for sponsoring this episode. And with Butcherbox is always in season. The new year is around the corner, and why not celebrate with delicious, high-quality meat and seafood that's delivered directly to your doorstep? It takes all the work off your plate to even having to go to the grocery store during one of the busiest time of years, and make sure you're gonna get delicious, high-quality meat that you can cook and be proud to present to whether family or friends or whoever you're shoving food in that day. Maybe it's even just yourself. Maybe, treat yourself to some delicious meats. Butcherbox helps bring me at least a peace of mind. It takes the guesswork out of finding that high quality meat and seafood, and with 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, pork raised crate-free, and wild-caught seafood, all of it's humanely raised with no antibiotics or added hormones, and I feel good about that, honestly. It's also just friggin' convenient. Get whatever you want delivered right to your doorstep, and within the continental US, it's free shipping with no surprise fees. Choose from a variety of pre-made box plan options, from curated to customized, and change whatever plan you want to have the choices of meat that you desire. Enjoy a range of high-quality cuts that are hard to come by at the grocery store at an amazing value, and exclusive member deals so you can save big on your favorite cuts. Recipe inspirations, guides, tips, and hacks, some of them are even all personalized so you can cook up mouth-watering meals to your heart's content. I've had Butcherbox now for almost a year, which is crazy, and it's the only way I get my meat at this point. It's super convenient, much cheaper than going out to the marketplace, and I'm guaranteed to get what I want without having to cross my fingers that the shelves at my grocery store have it. So if this sounds good to you, get the New Year bundle for free, plus $10 off when you sign up today. That's a 14-ounce pork tenderloin, 2 pounds of ground turkey, and 4 top sirloin steaks free in your first box. That's all that's a ton of freaking meat that's free. So sign up today at butcherbox.com/chill and use code chill to claim this offer. It's that easy. Butcherbox.com/chill and use code chill to claim this offer. She also bears a resemblance to the Scandinavian goddess Frigga, and both of them share one obsession: spinning, specifically, and domestic neatness generally. So spinning is like spinning yarn, thread, that kind of thing. Not like spinning in a room. When I originally read this, I was like, what do you mean? She was just like...
Or records?
No, I pictured her in a room just spinning in circles, and I did not understand what they meant. It took me a few reads.
DJ Frau Perchta!
Just like exercising hard.
She pulls in guest DJ Shaq as he walks in.
I'm a police officer.
She's a pretty Judge-y character about the state of your home, for someone who also kind of just dresses in rags. And legend has it that you'd better get all your flax spun by the 12th night, which is January 6th.
Yo!
So as I was saying, she goes into January. Quote, "For when the Christmas season was over, it would be time to set up the big upright loom, at which time you must have enough thread to warp it and start your weaving." And what's Frau Perchta's punishment for those lazy ladies who haven't finished all their weaving? Quote, "In Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, there were numerous tales of Frau Perchta trampling and even setting fire to the half-spun fibers." So she just ran in, knocked it over, stomped all over it, and sometimes was like, you know what, fuck you extra, and burned it.
I don't think I like Frau Perchta very much. I feel like she is made up to keep women in line, which I don't like.
Well,
she gives me a bad vibe.
You might be wondering what she's going to do if not only is your flax not spun, but your house is not clean, because she loves a clean house.
I imagine she's going to stab me with her fucking knife. No?
And also, what if you forgot to leave out her traditional bowl of porridge for her?
This is the most German shit I've ever, it isn't like delicious cookies. It's like,
this is like multiverse Santa. This is like Santas of the multiverse.
Well, this is instead of tell me at the end of this, I would put her from multiverse 666, all right? Yeah. Because sure, stomping on your thread is garbage, and setting it on fire extra mean. But if you leave your house dirty and don't leave out her porridge, she'll rampage through your whole house, and by the end of it, she'll smash into your room, disembowel you, and replace your guts with rocks and straw.
So first off, that is like a True Detective season, but also that is, Alex, you're 100% right. This is a cautionary tale to women to be like, you better clean, you better spin, you better not cause any trouble, or else you'll be disemboweled. That's exactly what this is.
It's crazy.
Don't make any noise. Clean up your place. or we will
porridge
cut you
all the time.
I always want a
Bland
double
porridge ready to go at any moment.
I don't want to see salt even near it.
Other legends have her in association with the legend of the Wild Hunt as well, saying that she flies through the night sky attended by an army of lost souls, including demonic-looking Perchta, her army of servants who are visually nearly indistinguishable from what we know as Krampus. So she flies around things that look like Krampus.
This is like Grendel and Grendel's mom?
Kind of,
Okay, so let's throw this out there. There's like a Men in Black style agency funded by the patriarchy, and they want to keep ladies in line. The queen is Frau Perchta, and her agents all look like Krampuses. And the Krampuses have a side gig where they spank little kids in sacks because they're demons from another realm.
They have a side gig. They need some money.
That's how they gas up. It's like the monsters need the screams from the kids in Monsters Inc. Right? So if we use that science, you can say that the Krampuses are the soldiers of Frau Perchta, and we need Doctor Who to save us, and that's it. That's what's going on.
Here's the thing. It does, like, I love that. I love that it's like, well, yeah, Krampus is out there in Germany causing trouble, but it's not Krampus you got to worry about. It's Krampus's mama. And I love the hierarchy of we
got like a whole fucking story being written before us here.
Yeah, this works.
Just
I
like
Cloverfield.
This.
I'm also gonna
Cloverfield.
I'm gonna send you a quick screenshot here of another creature that is sometimes associated with her in stories, though they're not like very commonly, but occasionally. And these are called the Straggle. There you go.
Straggle?
That sounds like a cookie. I'm gonna be honest with you. That sounds like a delicious cookie.
In many places, such as Switzerland.
Hey!
That's a Straggle.
All right, if you
this
want to
guy
know,
rules.
I'm just gonna read right off of this. In many places,
imagine Alex Fossiani with horns.
Imagine I was
completely covered in fur.
Imagine I was hired to train Hercules to be the best that he could be.
So you're voiced by Danny DeVito?
And I'm voiced by Danny DeVito.
Oh my God.
Except I'm also like half Ferengi for some reason.
Yeah, you do got a Ferengi vibe. You're not wrong.
This is also related to her?
Yeah, sometimes they're seen like she rides with them as like pets and stuff.
These are her little minis. So this is like the Majestic 12 of Christmas is what we're looking at here.
God. So these guys are seen in
These
Switzerland.
Are the short browns.
And Perchta rides with a throng of demonic-looking helpers known as Straggle. So she's seen with Perchta.
How big are they? Like
Perchta,
what size? Size-wise?
I don't know.
Size?
They look tiny to me. But these are basically the pets of the Krampuses.
Wait.
Krampuses have Pokemon is what you're telling me?
So wait, before you interrupt me, let me just lay it out real quick. So Frau rides with Perchta, who are the things that look like Krampuses.
They're like
these are the things that are known to ride with the Perchta. They ride a throng of demonic helpers. They're like, the Perchta have these things in throngs, so I'm going to imagine they're not like super big. And,
I'm going to imagine that they're on like Chewbacca-style bandoliers across.
And they pick one off and like throw it like a grenade at someone?
Yeah. And then it just rolls out and just goes.
These little fuckers love to partake of the feast offerings that are left out for them on Christmas by people hoping for Perchta's blessing of wealth and health in the new year.
Just chowing down on porridge, just shaking it down their throats.
Yeah, literally. And in some places, these guys get to dole out the punishments themselves and aren't terribly discerning as they rob all bad children and tear them to pieces in the air.
What?
I like that she's like delegating responsibility.
Yeah, she's got a whole kingdom of creatures she runs. It's hilarious.
So you're telling me there's no way to tell where Frau Perchta was on January 6th?
No, we can't tell you. We don't know.
Yeah.
It was the final day. It was the final day. Perhaps
nobody
the White
knows.
House didn't leave out the bowl of porridge. Like
maybe that guy with the horns was really...
Oh, he was one of the Perchta.
Maybe he was a Krampus, yeah.
Or he was a Straggle, maybe. He could have been a Straggle,
no, he's too big to be a
Straggle. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And he said he couldn't eat because he was a vegan or some shit. And,
yeah, something hilarious. Some victim noise. That's all I remember.
Oh, man.
But I just want to say also, on the topic, I saw Krampus between last week and this week. And that movie was mid. It was okay. I felt like a lot of lost potential was had. It was a lot of building to some coolish scenes, some really cool creature designs, and then it was over.
I think that movie has more potential the bigger your own imagination is.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
How willing you are to accept.
There's so many things that could have done with that.
The one in the movie, does it dress like Santa? Does it wear a Santa outfit?
Yeah, like at the reveal of him at the end is he's like under the hood. He's like a decaying looking Santa, like a mummified version almost. It's just like all like withdrawn and shit. And he's got horns. He looks fucking cool.
Spoiled it for everyone at home.
Do you think Krampus wears Santa a lot? I mean, like, yeah, like, do you think he wears Santa?
No, I don't think he wears Santa garb often. I don't think he would be.
I feel like I think of him on like media, like, you know how people draw the Mothman and like little green men all the time. I feel like when people draw the Krampus, he's dressed like Santa most of the time. Like if he's like smoking a doobie, he's also dressed like Santa.
It's always like a little kid is like standing there waiting for Santa, and then he turns around, and he's like, yeah, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like the Chupacabra dressed like Santa. Right. What he looks like dead ass.
And just so you were aware, the army of souls that follows her in the sky are the souls of unbaptized children.
Well, there you go.
So these things are like pro-Christian for some reason. They're like, we won't touch them if you bless them with the water of the God, the one true God who we believe in.
Legend has it if you hear the wind and thunder roaring and rumbling through the mountains on Berchtel nights, you're really hearing the sound of Perchta leading the wild hunt.
I'm sorry, what was that? What was that last bit?
So if, the whole thing, legend has it. If you
No, I'm sorry. Berchtel nights.
Berchtl nights. Berchtel nights. In more modern times, she's kind of more known as Mother Hall, who's a winter goddess whose name means shining or bright. So again, they're gentrifying her. Her association is with Epiphany, or the shining night on which the Star of Bethlehem shone down. Her dual nature is expressed in the fact that there are both evil or ugly Perchten and pretty Perchten, both of whom you might find in a typical Perchtenlauf or Perchten run in the alpine regions of Europe. The pretty Perchten are all well and good, but honestly, the evil Perchten are way cooler looking overall.
This is a weird, there's some weird overtones. This is like how the tall whites are like low-key racist. This is like some people are ugly and they're worse.
Can we get
objectively than pretty people?
Can we get like a movement to bring back old Berchta, old Frau Perchta back, and not this like nice Mother Hall version of her?
I want the guy who starts off the special edition Jabba's Palace theme song. That's who I'm looking for.
I need to get on the internet right now and write the people making the next Witcher game and be like, this is a quest line.
You gotta get this in there, man.
You fight one of the Christmas quest. Yeah,
you fight like one of the dudes, and then it's like, oh, but there was a mother. Like, come on.
It's so easy.
Little tiny looking guys running around. Come on, that's perfect.
That's super great. Well, that's our first creature. There you go. That's Frau Perchta. Next up is one that you may have heard of, called the Belznickel.
Nope.
Do you know what the Belznickel is?
You said may, but I'm going to
go ahead and
say I
may
do not.
is because fans of The Office may recognize it as the person that Dwight dressed up as in one of the mid seasons, like 5 or 6 or something. And he dressed up as the Belznickel for the holidays. You can take a look at this thing. He's a guy who wears he's got twigs in his hair and he's all kinds of weird looking. He's a crotchety, fur-clad Christmas gift-bringer figure in the folklore of the Palatinate region of southwestern, you guessed it, Germany, along the Rhine, the Saarland.
They got like different traditions in each house over there?
Yeah, they got so many Christmas people.
Time out.
This guy doesn't look good.
Every one of these is just another version of Alex. Look at this photo.
It's another version of Alex.
This is not good.
This is Alex wrapped in a fur coat kind of vibe.
How come half of them are like...
look, even the smile. It has the Alex's
perfect smile.
I don't like that half of them are in blackface, guys. What's up with that?
What? This guy's not in blackface, is he?
No, why? Like about half of the ones that I'm seeing are in blackface.
Oh, I'm not looking at one that's that. I don't know. I'm not seeing that.
Soot? Because it comes down the chimney?
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. What are you, fucking Dutch government?
Are we realizing that we started a podcast with a cryptid who just, over time, has had to change his identity?
If there was ever a cryptid, Alex is a cryptid, 100%. I've never met a more cryptid man. He literally just did the smile.
Identical that looks when you do that.
It sucks.
It's like crazy, dude. Someone just saw you in their visions and drew you. It's incredible. All right. The Belznickel is a crotchety, fur-clad Christmas gift bringer out in that area I told you about. Germany along the Rhine, the Saarland, Odenwald area of Baden-Württemberg. The figure is also preserved in Pennsylvania Dutch communities and Brazilian German communities. The Belznickel is related to the other companions of St. Nicholas. Again, multiple companions for Santa out here in German-speaking Europe. He may have been based off an older German myth, Knecht Ruprecht, a servant of St. Nicholas and a character from northern Germany. Unlike those figures, though, Belznickel does not accompany St. Nicholas, but instead visits alone and combines both the threatening and the benign aspects, which in other traditions are divided between St. Nicholas and the companion figure.
This guy shows up, beats the shit out of your kid, and then gives him a PlayStation?
Yeah.
And he's wearing questionable face makeup?
Belznickel's a man wearing furs and sometimes a mask with a long tongue, which we've seen.
He looks like Radagast the Brown is what he looks like.
He really
Straight
does.
up.
That's an amazing way to
Straight up, that's what he looks
describe him. The mask with a long tongue, I find that fascinating because that's also seen on I've seen in modern like Krampus, I would call it celebrations, but like, festivals or wherever, and just like that same mask with a really long tongue.
Yeah, I know the one.
He is typically a ragged.
Time out.
Yeah.
This is the most important thing you've ever. So we're all aware of the amazing Kurt Russell film, The Christmas Chronicles. Well, you clearly aren't aware of the sequel that came out in 2020, Christmas Chronicles 2 or whatever it was called. The enemy, the villain of that movie, is the boy from Deadpool 2, and his name.
He's the Belznickel?
He's Belznickel.
That's hilarious.
He's the
I never even
Belznickel.
heard of the first movie, so I don't fucking know.
And the best part is he's wearing a leather jacket, and he just looks like a young kid in a leather jacket.
They really went all out.
Which is, the Belznickel.
Yeah, the Belznickel. He's not a typically very ragged and disheveled man wears torn, tattered, and dirty clothes and carries a switch in his hand to which he beats naughty children, but also pockets full of cake, candies, and nuts for good kids.
Pockets full of cake?
Candy and nuts.
Who is this deranged
Reach into
man?
my pocket, young man, and grab my nuts.
He puts it all in his pocket, and then he walks around for 25 years, and then a fruit cake comes out.
You got to bring snacks.
Well, there is a first-hand account of this guy. A first-hand 19th century account of the Belznickel. No, I'm just kidding. It was the Belznickel tradition. Happened in Maryland, U.S., particularly Allegheny County. It can be found in Brown's Miscellaneous Writings, a collection of essays by Jacob Brown, who was born in 1824, and of writing of a period around 1830. Brown says, quote, "We did not hear of Santa Claus. Instead, the tradition called for a visit by a different character altogether. He was known as Kriskrinkel, Belznickel, and sometimes as the Christmas Woman." I don't know why that's weird. He's sometimes known as Kris Kringle, which obviously would turn into Kris Kringle later, and Belznickel. They're both the men, but sometimes he's known as the Christmas Woman. Children then not only saw the mysterious person, but felt him, or rather his stripes upon their backs with his switch. So you don't even get to see the guy. He's invisible and he just fucking whacks you without you being able to see him. Definitely not their parents quickly hitting their children and hiding it behind their back, claiming it was the Belznickel.
Dude, is that a thing?
The parents hit them and hide it? I don't know.
That's not part of the Belznickel.
This is the 1830s. Anything could be happening in the 1830s.
Listen, I know we got to be careful how we talk about these things on here, but there are elements of the Christmas tradition, even in America, where, we say one thing's happening, but really, in the end, it turns out to be the parents doing something behind the kids' backs.
This is an 18-only podcast. If you clicked on it, you know it. So
I didn't say what it was.
I know.
But
I want you both to know. I want you both to know. It took me a second to realize what you were talking about because I'll be honest, I thought you were saying some really I was like, what are you implying happens in homes?
I will say when he said that, I was when you prefaced
I was
by saying we have to be careful when we talk about. I was ready to say Dean edited it out.
Too. And I was like, what are you made it sound way worse.
Okay, but we're all on the page now, and we know it's not whatever the fuck you guys were thinking it was, and it's definitely just what I think it is.
I just want to make clear that everyone at home listening understands.
We're all on the same page.
I'm not afraid anymore. We have Dean here. He can edit anything. Magic can happen. In fact, last week, he did what we asked him to do. His British voice showed up and said Chilluminati podcast over Alex's wrong show call out during the Patreon segment. So thank you, Dean.
Amazing.
We appreciate your
Amazing. That's good
discipline.
editing. Good editing.
Subscribe to Super Beard Brothers.
No, subscribe to Chilluminati Pod on Patreon because that's how we pay Dean.
JesseCox.com.
The annual visitor would make his appearance some hours after dark, thoroughly disguised, especially the face, which would sometimes be covered with a hideous, ugly fizz. Generally wore
What?
P-H-I-S.
Fizz?
P-H-I-Z. Fizz.
What is
What
that?
the fuck is that? Is that a fez?
That's what maybe? You know, I don't know.
No, what? No.
I'm looking it
A
up.
fizz is a person's face or expression.
Oh, okay. So
What?
fizz.
I can't
Covered
believe
with
this
a
is
fizz?
this is a quote. 'Twas enough to paste his fizz on the cover of Time magazine.
Just
We need
means
to talk like
face.
that again. We need to get back to that.
Yeah, it just means face. Yeah, he was covered by a hideous. It says covered by a hideously ugly fizz, aka face. Generally wore a female garb, hence the name Christmas woman. Sometimes it would be a
Do we mean like a mask, maybe?
yeah. Well, they said sometimes he wears a mask with a long tongue and all that. So that's what they meant. Yeah, sometimes it was be a veritable woman, but with a masculine force in action. Again, this is from a book from 1830. He or she would be equipped with an ample sack about the shoulders filled with cakes, nuts, and fruits, and a long hazel switch, which was supposed to have some kind of charm in it, as well as a sting. One hand would scatter the goodies upon the floor, and then the scramble would begin by the delighted children, and the other hand would ply the switch between the backs of the excited youngsters, who would not show a wince, but had it been parental discipline, there would have been screams to reach a long distance. So it doesn't even hurt them when he hits them. They don't even know he's hitting them until it's too late. Very strange. So yeah, that's the Belznickel. A quick overview of that particular Christmas character. Has flavors of Krampus, flavors of Santa.
Before you move on, I went down a rabbit hole that I'm not sure I should have. Fizz isn't fizz. Fizz is a shortened form of fizzog, which is a shortened form
Visage?
of no, which is a shortened form of physiognomy, which is the study of outward appearance, especially features of the face, to determine temperament. So they were like, let me see that fizzog of yours. What?
That's very
Language
fucking
is
weird.
insane.
Yeah, that's insane.
Fizz.
What the hell? Okay.
And then did fizz
All right.
become face? I don't even
Okay.
bro, I have no clue.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, he's still celebrated in weird ways all over the world.
So
But
this guy did he roll with, he rolled alone? He was like the
he rolled
loner?
alone. He showed up on his own. He threw all the candies on the floor and then he would hit the kids as they were scrambling.
That's fucking hilarious.
I know, it's great. I think it's super funny.
How do they make up that part of the legend? I
don't know.
Yeah, he fucking throws the fucking candies on the floor and then he smacks the kid's
Let me
neck.
ask you a question. If you're a child and you don't go for the candies, do you get smacked?
No. He basically throws all the candies on the ground and then he will hit only the bad kids as they
Like
scramble.
go for the candy?
No, not even the good kids. The good kids he ignores who are going for the candy. It's the bad kids. It's basically
What?
it creates an easy target.
Creates an easy target.
I'm serious. He whacks them as they're going for it.
It feels like more of a game.
And they don't feel it. They can't feel it either. It
Do you
just
think
it's
he did
after.
that to begin with? Like he went in there and he
Yeah,
would
I don't
smack
know.
the kids, and then eventually was like, it's not fun anymore.
I feel like this
They
all
just stand
started
there
from a
and take
weird 1700s perv that then built a legend around his
Also,
actions.
what was the 1700s candy? That hard tack. Enjoy, kids.
Fruitcake? Yeah, the hard molasses. I don't
An
fucking
orange. Just like a fucking orange, like
know.
half an
a
orange.
fruit. Yeah.
That's kind of dry because it's been sitting on the fucking dusty counter for a week, getting all covered in bug shit and whatever.
So, Merry Christmas. Here's a gross orange. All right, next one. Have you boys heard of Hans Trapp, the cannibalistic Christmas scarecrow?
Is this also Germany?
Let's find out, boys. And this one, big shout out to Steampunk Librarian for the info on this one. There is some sexual assault, so be wary if that something you don't want to hear. So this guy is a weird, bizarre creature from Alsace-Lorraine. And it's very interesting because we have the legend, but we also have plenty of information on the historical figure from which the legend sprang. This story went from a man having a dispute with the Catholic Church to being a boogeyman who eats children. And this guy, the guy who's based off of, is a man by the name of Hans von Trotha. Hans von Trotha. He's got a very Game of Thrones coat of arms, honestly. It's really cool. I like it a lot. Yeah, it's a really cool looking dude. So the legend is multiple in its core. The milder version of the legend claims that he was a black knight that stalked the Palatinate region, much like the Belznickel, and that he was used as a threat to make children behave. The legend of the Jungfernsprung, however, he then gains a much more sinister reputation as a man who stalks a maiden through the forest, causing her to fall from rock formations, the rock formation known as Maiden's Leap, which she miraculously survives. Quote, once a maiden ventured into the forest of dawn to pick berries. When she was far away from home, a man suddenly burst out of the thicket, probably the robber baron Hans Trapp from Berriswestein Castle. The man clearly intended to rob the virgin of her innocence, so the young maiden gathered up her skirts and took to flight, but the villain came ever closer to her. In her panic, the young lass failed to watch where she was going. All of a sudden, she found herself, panting for breath, at the edge of the precipice with the houses of the town far below. Without stopping to think, the young maiden fell over the abyss, and now the miracle happened, because her skirts ballooned out and let her float down gently. She survived the leap entirely unhurt, and ever since, at the spot where her foot had landed, a spring has flowed. That's like the like more, I guess you call it aggressive version of this guy. And that was like in the 1800s or so on, and that particularly was pulled from, the Westpfalz Journal, Sagenhaftfelsen der Jorgensprung, which was from 2013.
So German. This is still a German thing.
It's still German, of course.
This episode is called Germany's Complicated Relationship with Christmas.
Literally, like all the horrifying creatures kind of, for Christmas specifically, sprout from that area. After that, the story seemed to take a turn for the much, much worse. An article on Ripley's website describes Trapp as being the worst of the anti-Santas. It said that at one point he stabbed a child, sliced him into tiny pieces, and cooked and ate his flesh. So, probably I would say give him the worst anti-Santa tag after that. I don't know how you get much more worse than stabbing and eating a child. But again, the Ripley's, believe it or not, doesn't check their sources. So take that with obviously a grain of salt.
Okay.
A Pathos article delves into some medieval satanic panic and describes the legendary figure as being a, quote, cruel man of great wealth who acquired his wealth not through hard work, but from acts of magic and pacts with demons. He himself being a man who worshipped Satan. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, well, that nothing happened. This is also fake because I tried the same thing and it didn't fucking work. Magic is specifically spelled with a K because old-timey magic.
Sweet.
This whole thing of this cruel man seems to be the source of actual fact, because this is what led to what he calls great battles with the church and the Pope, and was eventually excommunicated from the church. Everything he owned was taken by the church, and he was shunned and banished. He would eventually seclude himself in the woods, where he invested even more time in black magic, supposedly, which made him lose his mind and caused a taste for human flesh. He then enacted a plan in which he dressed up as a scarecrow so that he could snatch kids as they came through the fields. Using this ploy, he was indeed able to nab a young shepherd that he dragged back to his shack, where he set to butchering and roasting him. However, before he could take the first bite of sweet child flesh, God struck him with lightning and he died. But
Whoa.
God didn't stop him from killing the kid, though. God was excited to get that kid in heaven because he wanted to hang out with them. But after the act was done, he killed the guy. The article then goes on to say that it was after this that Trapp became a hooded scarecrow that would abduct naughty children and carry them away into the forest, never to be seen again. But there is some truth behind all of this. Hans von Trotha was a 15th century knight in the Palatinate region who was in possession of multiple castles and political positions.
God.
Sometime in the 1480s, a dispute arose between von Trotha and the abbot of Weissenberg Abbey over some contested property. At the peak of this dispute, von Trotha dammed a nearby river, which flooded fields and meadows in an act of, I guess, dispute. I don't know what you would call that or why he would have done it. After complaints by the abbot, von Trotha ripped out the dam and flooded the town of Weissenberg as well as their economy. It's believed that this was von Trotha's plan the entire time. The war between von Trotha and the abbot continued for years before von Trotha was finally called before Pope Alexander VI, but von Trotha, maverick that he was, didn't go. He refused. He wrote a furious screed to the Pope instead, which eventually led to excommunication. While the people directly in charge of von Trotha disavowed him in public, They still worked with him, even going so far as to send him to the French royal court during the Italian wars. Apparently, he was a very good diplomat, which seems at odds with his inability to find a compromise with the abbot. While he was at the French court, he was even awarded a Chevalier d'Or, knighthood, by the king. So he became a knight while he was in the French area. And then after all of this, he did die in 1503 at the ripe old age of 53.
Legitimately a Final Fantasy villain character.
Really,
just bizarre.
I know. After he died, all the sanctions against him were lifted, and he was given an appropriately Catholic burial. So as soon as he died, they're like, all right, we'll take him as one of our own now. So yeah, Von Trotha was a real guy who was a fucking asshole, dammed up the river as a means to piss off the abbey, and then flooded the whole fucking city afterward. Like, Jesus Christ. That's insane.
Nuts.
But yeah, and then from there, his cannibalistic rumors were kind of grew from there. But there you go. There's the cannibalistic scarecrow, also another weird German Christmas person. Next up is Pierre Fouettard, which is French for Father Whipper or Old Man Whipper. He's a character who accompanies St. Nicholas on his rounds during St. Nicholas Day, December 6th, dispensing lumps of coal or, you guessed it, beatings to naughty children, while St. Nicholas gives gifts to the well-behaved. He is known mainly in the far north and eastern regions of France, in South Belgium, and in French-speaking Switzerland. Although similar characters exist all over Europe, obviously you can immediately see the comparisons between himself and Krampus and Belznickel. This whipping father was said to bring a whip with him to spank all the naughty children who misbehave. So honestly, what would you prefer? A wooden switch or a whip to beat you?
I don't think that I would take the whip. I feel like
that's what I feel like. I feel like I would have taken the wooden switch too. I feel like a whip is like extra
I feel like this could be a trick. You know what I mean? Like we know a whip would hurt, but like a switch to a wood ass switch, that's gotta hurt too, though.
Well, but nobody's actually getting their ass beat. It's just all like none of this actually happens. They didn't name this after a person, right?
Yeah, no, he's not based off of, as far as I know.
Does somebody come into town dressed as this guy and actually whip children? No way, right?
I don't think it's a regularly practiced thing nowadays from my look at it. Admittedly very quickly. The latest I can see is they were talked about. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think anybody dressed up as them. Mostly because like the stories we're about to get into, the couple of them are extremely violent. And I don't think that parents were doing that. But I also if they were celebrating with him, I could see people dressing up as him instead of Krampus, because he's essentially the same character. They're just like given a different name, But here's some of the most weird stories about him. One of the most popular stories about the origin of Pierre Fouettard was first told way back in 1252. An innkeeper, or butcher in other versions, captures 3 boys who appear to be wealthy and on their way to enroll in a religious boarding school. Along with his wife, he kills the children in order to rob them. One gruesome version tells that they drugged the children, slit their throats, cut them into pieces, and stewed them in a barrel. St. Nicholas discovers the crime, resurrects the children. After this, Pierre Fouettard repents and becomes St. Nicholas's partner. A slightly different version of the story claims that St. Nicholas forced Pierre Fouettard to become his assistant as a punishment for his crimes. So either way, the dude netted a lifetime job after killing 3 kids by St. Nicholas. Santa came and was like, you know what? I'll take you under my wing. You will punish kids. For some reason, I'm still going to allow you to physically hit children, even though you killed 3 of them, but you're going to do it under my watch. Another story states that during the siege of Metz, which was a city in eastern France in 1552, an effigy of King Charles V was burned and dragged through the city. Meanwhile, an association of tanners created a grotesque character, also a tanner, armed with a whip and bound in chains, who punished children. After Metz was liberated, the charred effigy of Charles V and the character created by the tanners somehow assimilated into what is now known as Pierre Fouettard. Events surrounding the city's liberation and the burning of the effigy coincide with the passage of St. Nicholas, hence Pierre Fouettard became his quote-unquote bad cop counterpart. He actually did show up in the 30s in the United States under the translated name Father Flog or Spanky.
I'm
say
sorry.
that
What,
again?
I'm sorry. What was it?
It got translated to father flog or spanky.
That, of course, America would do
Spanky.
that. Of course, it'd be like, oh,
Yep.
spanky.
Yep, 1930s America was father flog or spanky.
That
Although
sounds
almost
like 30
identical-
gangsters.
He needs a new agent, is what he needs.
Hey, it's a old spanky time of year. Almost identical to the original French personification, Father Flog had nothing to do with Christmas and also had a female accomplice named Mother Flog. The two doled out specific punishments for specific childhood crimes. Example, cutting out the tongue for lying. So America just didn't restrict them to Christmas. They were like, they're going to come at any point.
This
if
just
you
guy
misbehave.
never relaxed. He's always out
He's
there.
always working. He's got that grind set mindset, which
Spanky's
you need.
he's there.
Yeah. But Dad, I just want a basketball for Christmas. All right, this next
Tell it to
one
Spanky kid.
is a group of creatures that Jesse is known rather well.
Love them.
These are Icelandic in nature. The 13 Yule lads from Iceland's own Iceland's own mischievous Santa Claus. They are
What?
very, very weird and incredibly entertaining, and I'm excited to talk about them with you.
I love them.
So Icelandic children get to enjoy the favors of not one, but 13 Father Christmases, called the Yule lads. These merry but mischievous fellows take turns visiting kids on the 13 nights leading up to Christmas. On each of those nights, children place one of their shoes on the windowsill. For good boys and girls, the Yule lad will leave candy. If not, the Yule lads are not subtle in expressing their disapproval. They will fill the shoe with rotting potatoes.
God damn.
Ain't that fun? Ain't that a good time?
It's harmless. I like it. I buy this. These are real.
While the kids may enjoy 13 Santa Claus visits, they also have to contend with a creature called Gryla, which we'll talk about as a separate creature immediately after these boys.
I just want to say,
but-
Alex, every single one of these, again, you are like our Christmas miracle. Every single Yule lad is a version of you.
I love
every
it.
single one.
I love it. All right, well, let's talk about each one very quickly. So these are all pulled from the Smithsonian. In this particular, I'm at Smithsonian Magazine for this. This is the 13 Yule lads. The first one is Sheepcoat Clod. He tries to suckle ewes in farmers' sheep sheds.
That's his thing.
That's like his defining personality trait.
That's what he does.
Suckles on sheep's tits.
He
That's just his thing.
That's it. That's what he does. Each one has their own. They're like the seven dwarves, but
debauchery.
weirder.
Hang on,
Yeah.
let me get you a quick picture. So I'll post it in the
Oh, great. Okay.
thing. This is a very quick picture of all 13 of them in a
Shout out
in a
to
group.
Cox and Crendor. Go watch the animated version of this very thing right now.
There you go.
You can
Those
see
are
all of our
quickly
little
the
animated
13 of them.
guys.
Yes.
All right, next up is Gully Gawk. Gully Gawk
Gully
also
Gawk.
likes a very particular thing, and that's the foam from buckets of cow milk. He likes to
he
scrape
loves-
it off the top and steal it.
Just get that.
He just
So
wants
far,
the
I'm
foam,
not-
nothing else.
So far, I don't have a lot in common with these guys.
All right.
I
Well,
disagree.
let's
I
see
got
what
the
happens.
beard. I got the beard. I'll say
You
that.
know, if you had the opportunity
No, I'm
to
not
suckle
saying
from a
visually.
sheep's tit, would you do it?
I think he would.
Just to
I
try.
think if anyone's gonna-
Yeah,
if
Just
anyone's
to see,
gonna-
there
I
you
would
go.
try.
Just to
I would
try.
try.
Just to try.
I'd have to know at least. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. And that's how I feel about having sex with cryptids. So,
Okay.
I understand.
okay.
Stubby is the third one.
Stubby.
Yep,
Stubby.
Stubby.
Hey, guess what? Guess what his thing is.
Yeah.
He eats thumbs.
No, he's short and steals food from frying pans.
Oh, that's me.
He loves fried food, dude. He's a fried
That's me.
food guy.
He steals food from frying pans. I do
Yeah.
that while I'm
All
frying
right,
food.
You have to guess this next one.
Yeah. What does this guy do?
Spoon licker.
Okay, I'll figure it out. Let's see. Spoon licker. He loves to lick a spoon.
God damn, you are good.
You're so smart.
At
What?
this.
But what spoons is my question.
Any spoon,
spoon.
with stuff on it. He
Yeah.
licks it.
He loves to just
He
get all the
loves-
He
stuff
likes
off
the
the
dirty
fucking
spoon. It's
Yeah.
not about getting his tongue into a smooth
It's
metal
about all of those
curvaceous.
treasures left behind on the silverware.
Yeah.
see.
He loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
next up, also one you're going to have a hard time guessing. This is pot scraper, a.k.a. pot liquor.
Now, pot liquor, when my dad makes like collard greens, is a delicious beverage that I like to shoot with vodka or soju.
Oh, yeah. That juice.
Yeah, but pot liquor in this case, I gotta imagine he's similar to spoon liquor.
You are correct with one extra difference between the last two. Other than stealing and eating the food, he will also steal the unwashed pots. He takes them for himself.
He takes the pots.
He takes the pots.
Yeah,
it's his.
he loves them.
So they just
There it
really
is.
don't want you to leave any mess anywhere. No phone
No.
allowed. Hide those titties.
Sorry,
Next up
ladies.
is bowl liquor. Surprise,
Okay.
surprise. He steals bowls of food from under the bed specifically. And back in the old days, Icelanders used to sometimes store bowls of food there, convenient for midnight snacking.
They really didn't like it when people licked their stuff, I think. Is
Yeah, I
what I'm
guess
finding
so.
out
No.
about the Icelandic people.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, yeah. Next up is door slammer.
Okay.
He stomps around and slams doors, keeping everyone awake.
Oh, I see. So you don't want to be like any of these guys, is the idea.
Correct.
They're
Now,
all
you have
just
to know the
gross.
translation of this
Well,
next
hold
word.
on.
Okay, go ahead.
The next word you should know. I mean, I think you should know, right?
All right,
What?
well, let's see. This next one is skier gobbler.
He gobbles all his skier.
He loves yogurt, dude.
He eats
loves
yogurt.
The Icelandic yogurt
Yeah, he
skier.
just eats up Icelandic yogurt. All right,
I can't blame him.
sausage
Yeah, it's
swiper.
delicious.
Sausage
Delicious.
swiper is one.
Sausage swiper.
Yep.
That's, I mean, who
He
wouldn't
loves-
do this?
He loves stolen sausages.
That's my brother, actually. My brother on Christmas, he'll eat like 4 pounds of sausages. I don't even know how he does it.
This next one named window peeper.
This is the me. If there
This
was a
is
group
the
of
you?
us,
I wouldn't
they'd
want to
all
be
be Alex
associated
and I'd be
with
window peeper, like, oh,
This is the George McFly of the group.
yeah.
He likes to creep outside windows. I get that reference, by the way. And sometimes steal the stuff he sees inside. Only sometimes.
Sometimes
He's like window shopping thief.
Yeah.
He's
yes.
like window stealer.
Yeah. I just think he's like a voyeur, you know? He just likes to.
But he's not just a voyeur. He also
only
might
steals
take
sometimes, though.
the thing that he's looking at.
It's true. It's true. Next up, we have 3 more. Door sniffer. He has
Door
a huge.
sniffer.
Yep. He has a huge nose and an insatiable appetite for stolen baked goods.
so he
This
sniffs
one
the
I'm
door
Yeah.
and like sneaks in and takes your goods.
Yeah. Yeah.
This one I'm like whatever on. This one,
This
I
next
don't
one's
get
you.
Yeah. This next one is
100% you.
absolutely you. This man's name is Meat Hook.
okay.
He snatches up any meat left out, especially smoked lamb.
Okay. Well, Meat Hook's okay in my book.
Yeah,
Meat
right?
Hook
That's
can
pretty
come
good.
over. Meat Hook can hang out.
And then the
He can
last
use my
one,
house as his base.
you can come over
He
anytime.
can sleep if he wants. He can stay. here.
Honestly, this is the guy who became CEO of Butcherbox.
He's got to store it somewhere.
Yeah.
Last but not least of the 13 Yule lads is the candle beggar. He steals candles, which
Oh,
used to
well,
be
okay.
sought after items way back in olden times. in
I need
Iceland.
you to
Basically
know.
an iPhone. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I need you to know the funniest part about this, and I think this is the best part about the Yule lads. You can imagine the story sitting down around a fire to tell the kids about the Yule lads, and they're like, "Papa, what are the Yule lads' names?" And you say to them, "Well, first there was sheep called Claude, and his friend
Nipple
Golly Gok," and they're like, "What were the others?" And you're like, Stubby, and the others, Spoon Liquor." And then it just like devolves into just what they do. They don't have names anymore.
He's like looking around. He's like, his eyes are darting around the room as he's desperately,
Till
nervously
he ran
sweating.
out of shit to lick, he moved on
Yeah,
to like,
yeah.
this one sniffs the doors.
Yeah, just looking at the room like, and one takes candles.
Yeah, because by the end,
this
his
one
candle's
likes
about to
meat
go
hooks.
out and he needs to save the rest of the wax. That shit was hot commodities. And there was candle beggar. And he's going to steal our candles. Let's
He
go to
loves
bed.
candles, yes, yes.
I love that.
Doors, yes.
There was also the Yule Cat,
I love the Yule Cat. He's my favorite one.
also
What?
known as Yola Kotorin. I butchered it. A huge and
Yola
vicious cat
Kotorin?
who is described as lurking about the snowy countryside during Christmas time and eating people who have not received any new clothes to wear before Christmas Eve. You better
What
get new
the
clothes on
fuck?
or the cat is going to eat you. He
So
is
you
also
need him.
He is a pet of Gryla and her 13 Yule sons. Though referred to as an ancient tradition, written accounts of the Yule lad have only been located as recently as the 19th century. The threat of being eaten by the Yule cat was used by farmers as an incentive for their workers to finish processing the autumn wool before Christmas. The ones who took
To
part in
the
the work.
workers? That worked on adults?
Yes, yeah. Well, I'm sure kids were out in them fields as well, doing a lot of like childhood labors in the 19th century. I'm
Imagine
sure.
telling a 25-year-old man, hey, you better
The
finish.
Yule cat.
you're gonna get. There's this cat out there, and he can sense if you have new clothes. I'd be like, okay, Grandpa, let's get you to bed.
If you don't have new clothes, it isn't like a punishment against you for making it. If you don't have new clothes, he eats the person without new stuff.
You have to have new clothing.
There's also
keeps the capitalism moving, baby. For
there's
Christmas.
also like a home, like you're supposed to give stuff to the homeless as well. But if you don't, that homeless dude's dead.
So you're like
implying.
You're like telling your son, like, see that guy over there? He's not going to be there tomorrow if he doesn't get.
Yes.
We don't buy him a new outfit because this cat is coming, who's very hungry.
It's even like just buy him a sock, like new socks.
Yeah, just something. Give him something, dear God.
Here's the fucked up thing. If you do this, if you avoid this monster, what does the cat eat?
Nothing. He's a supernatural cat. He'll be fine.
Look, he doesn't eat.
There's always going to be someone who doesn't.
That's true.
Get something new.
That's true.
Oh man,
there's always those lesser than you. Okay,
that's heavy. Oh shit.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right?
He'll find
Majestic 12.
Oh yeah, I know. Right? The ones who would take part in the work prior to Christmas were rewarded with new clothes, and those who did not would get nothing and thus be preyed upon by the monstrous cat. The cat has alternatively been described as merely eating away the food of ones without new clothing during Christmas feasts. And the perception of the Yule Cat as a man-eating beast was partly popularized by poems of Johannes Kotlum, as well as the rest of the folklore.
It's so much weirder to just wake up naked, though.
I know it is. All right, and the last of this family of Yule creatures is Gryla. Gryla is an ogress who lives in the mountains of Iceland. Like Krampus and Merry Lwyd, she is a Christmas monster and only appears around Christmas time. The stories about her in Iceland vary. Some say she is kind of just like a boogeyman who enjoys scaring people. Others present her as a much darker entity, saying she murders children and eats them. In Iceland, she is as famous as the mother of the Yule lads and as the Yule Cat as a pet. That's like her biggest known thing. Gryla is very similar to Krampus in many ways. While Santa brings good children presents, Gryla has an insatiable hunger for naughty children, and she is always grumpy. Like Krampus, she'll kidnap kids in a sack. She then brings them home to cook them alive and turn them into a stew. So she won't kill them first, like the cannibalistic scarecrow. She cooks them alive. Like Santa, Gryla has helpers, her sons, known as the Yule lads. They are usually much less cruel than their mother and simply play pranks on people during the Christmas season. All that obviously depends on the version. There are some tales of the Yule lads as homicidal child-eating monsters. Gryla also has a giant cat named the Yule Cat, which we just talked about. Gryla is married to her third husband named
Third husband.
She's had two previous.
Two
named
normal guys first.
Who lives in the Dimiborgir lava fields in a cave. This historic area is rife with supernatural mischief, according to folklore, due to its unique natural castle formations and traditional tales of it being the place of Satan himself, where he landed when he fell from heaven. And then,
that's
so that's where her husband
That's cool
lives.
as shit. Yeah,
man, that's fucking sick. It's great. But that's her. It's pretty much straightforward. She's just kind of like a Krampus analog who's a little bit more violent in some of the stories and is married, had 3 husbands.
If you want to know what her husband looks like, it looks like the dude from Harry Potter, the guy with the beard.
Perfect. I love it.
You know that dude? You know what I'm talking about?
Hagrid?
Beard guy. Hagrid. Yeah, it looks like Hagrid.
Hagrid. Okay. All right. And our next one and our final one is, have you heard of Merry Lwyd, the zombie Christmas horse?
What?
Zombie?
The zombie Christmas horse. Yeah. Merry Lwyd, also known as Grey Mary in English, is a Welsh zombie horse that visits people's homes and pubs during the Christmas season. Many Welsh believe that the ghost horse brings good luck in the new year, and the traditional people let the horse into their homes, which sounds like a horrible, horrible fucking idea. I don't know why you would do that. The week between Christmas and New Year's, as we live in right now, is the time when the Merry Lwyd comes to visit, usually at night. Usually, 6 people act out the tradition. One member would hold a horse's skull, while some of the others carry a sheet over the group to give the appearance of the ghost horse.
This thing is awful looking.
I know. The remaining members of the group tie colorful ribbons around the skull and use them as reins to lead the horse around. While the townspeople sing Christmas carols and Welsh traditional songs, the horse walks through the town. When the horse entered a house or bar, the horse would try to attack the residents. The people leading the horse would restrain the horse from attacking children. Most of the chaos, although portrayed as terrifying, was all in good fun. The guests were often rewarded with Christmas desserts to thank them for bringing good luck to the house. So the horse represented bizarrely good luck.
This is just like a seed for a creepypasta. Like, is what this exists
right?
for.
It really sees it. It really seems like it. Way back in ancient practices, she was celebrated. It was typically celebrated on New Year's Eve specifically. Since these ancient times, people have then kind of expanded it, have created a festival during this Festival of Lights, signifying birth and hope and good fortune. And she's like the rebirth of a dead horse in these more modern festivals that help like represent her. That's pretty much it. Like the zombie horse and her group will just knock on doors, asking in song to be let in. The song is sung in Welsh and it's pretty much the same with a few variations, which I can maybe add this. And Dean, maybe you can edit this in this moment as like a little taste, not the whole thing, but just a little taste. Here's a version of it, gentlemen, if you want to hear it. I'm going to listen real quick.
This literally looks like somebody did a babality on a Bloodborne boss. This thing is absolutely bedraggled looking. So scary, truly.
So we'll get a nice little taste in the episode for everybody there. A nice little Christmas taste.
What's fascinating about this is that it isn't just singing.
Mm-mm.
They would walk up to the house, sing.
Yep.
And then you would have to sing back why you can't let them in.
And it was a battle.
And then you would
wits
have basically a rap battle.
Yeah.
About why they're allowed in or not.
The last bit I have here is once the traditional opening verses are sung, which by the first verses of that song were meant to be sung by Mary Lwyd, the horse. Mary Lwyd and company are answered by those inside with challenges and insults. A battle of wits known as punko ensues, where riddles, challenges, and insults must be exchanged in rhyme. If the zombie horse's party wins the punko, which can be as long as the creativity of the two parties endure, the merry party enters with another song and is given drinks and treats. So if the people carrying the horse win the rap battle, they get food and fucking drink, dude.
It is. I don't know how many people listening have played this, but if you played the newest Assassin's Creed game, Valhalla,
I have
in that
bits,
game,
not many,
characters have like rap battles, and it's like an ancient art form where they sit there and they like rap and rhyme with each other.
Correct. Yeah.
That is pretty much what this is. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
I love that.
That is nuts.
So,
This is truly like very like hauntingly like, I don't know, something about this custom really like grabs me in a romantic way.
I love it too.
Yeah.
And that is
if it wasn't for the terrifying horse skull,
I know.
everything about this is charming as hell.
The
I
horse
agree.
skull makes it even better. It's like
I think
a
it's cool.
Zelda quest or something. It's so weird.
But this creature is still out there. So if any of you out there have a knock on your door and a zombie horse starts asking to be let in with a rap battle, prepare your greatest wits and retorts and hope to fend it off lest you need to give it food and drink.
Glorious.
And its last day is actually tonight on the night of us recording it. So best of luck out there, as you know, it's already been come and gone.
This is also like if you don't know the creepypasta Long Horse, give that one a Google.
Yes, I know Long Horse. Yeah.
It looks just like Long Horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's unpleasant.
And that wraps up our little relaxing kind of holiday in between episode
Delightful.
of some weird Christmas creatures out there.
Delightful.
That's kind of all of them that are like worth noting for the most part. We're off to go do a mini-sode where I'm the only one bringing a topic from last week because I have Coast to Coast's top 10 weirdest UFO encounters of 2022 that we're going to go through. But we're going to open with the recent tweet on Christmas Eve from Christopher Mellon, who then puts out this big fucking blog post.
Don't do it on this episode. We got to do it on the
insinuating
mini-sode.
that maybe the document of the Majestic 12 might be real. We're off. Thank you guys so much for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Chilluminati podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Mike Martin, joined by I don't know who they are. There's two
What?
Terrence Hill and Bud Spencer.
No.
Neo and Trinity.
No.
I don't understand, and I probably never will. Let me just tell you right now that there's two Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield.
I'm telling you, I think he literally just looked up famous duos
Cheech and Chong.
and has just been going through the list ever since.
I'm trying to dig deep. Which one of you is Dick Powell?
Me? Your name's Jesse Cox. I want Chilluminati. I want my multiverse. I want Chilluminati. I want my multiverse.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Chilluminati podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Mike Martin, joined by Alex and Jesse. Like a shooting star across the sky that's actually a UFO.